speaks to her work, and so I'm just using her words, but the themes that she discusses, I'm just so completely fascinated by this piece. She talks about the obsession of repetition as at the root of what she does. This piece is created with cut paper, and the images appear simple in the execution, yet they are visually complex. She works in a circular, repetitive manner, and she says that the creation of the piece becomes a visual mantra for her. I think it's stunning, and I just really want to hear more from you, Wendy. Thank you for being in the show.
Thanks. So my current work is, a lot of it is actually involved with the night sky. I grew up in a suburb of New York City, like 20 miles away, so there was already so much light pollution. You really couldn't see, much of the stars, but I always had this fascination with that. I was that kid who was watching when they walked on the moon and, watching on our little black and white TV and always wanted to see the stars. And even here in California now, there's not many places, but I was fortunate a while back to be able to go to Nepal and be up actually into the mountains and to have to go out at night in the middle of the night out into a field to use the bathroom. And I just remember seeing this vastness of sky with nebulas and constellations, and it's just so dark but also so bright. So that's actually what I'm working with right now, is just those memories of that particular sky and my fascination with what goes on out there. So just a little bit about my process. This is small pieces of paper. They're all about this size. And what I do is I actually, on the computer, I never really consider myself a digital person, but on the computer, I type a full sheet of O's, like little O's. And so you can't see it on these as much, but there's little tiny O's, and the O's give me a reference to be able then to paint my dots. And some people they were talking about happy accidents. I'm not into happy accidents. I'm really upset. Actually, my day job years ago was paste up artist. So I had to be, and actually I was really good. I can get it, I can put it down and get it right on. And that's what I'm doing here, is these are pasted up circularly. And actually I have to, I've done these actually, this is a smaller piece. I've done these 6 foot by 6 foot. And I have to rotate them as I do them, because otherwise I can't keep the circle. So it's also while it seems like it's very intensive, one point, it's very physical. I have to, and they're wood panels, so they're kind of heavy. I don't know how many 6 feet I have left in me for those kind of pieces, but, so I glue down the pieces and then color the pieces, and these are hand colored. So I actually paint the color front and back after all the paper pieces are put down. And then after that, I paint the dots actually I did used to use a brush, and I've discovered paint pens. I didn't know there were paint pens. I didn't know what I was thinking. And I try to coat them first, so that if I do make a mistake, I can clean it off. Because I require that precision in what I'm doing. So that's kind of it. So actually a little bit back. So before I was doing this, I didn't always do this. I've been an artist. I've been lucky to be an artist my whole life. And in between, I did teaching and gardening and house cleaning and paste up artist. So I always did all these other jobs so I could continue to do my work. And I'm lucky I have a studio in Hunters Point. I've been here since, a long time. More than 3 decades I've been out.
Are you serious? You've been in that same space?
Not my same space.
She said building 101, I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah, but I used to be in 104. I had a smaller space, and then I had a bigger space, and then for open studio it was better to move, and I was in a little space. I used to share space with Linda Larson.
Oh my God, Linda Larson. We love her.
Yeah, and then I kind of didn't kick her out, but I wanted to be my own studio. And
Well, she's an oil painter, so no.
no, that wasn't it. We just, we both needed more space. We're happy now, we're still friends. But anyway, so I've been there a really long time, and just lucky to be able, and I also have a partner who's not an artist, which is really lucky. So anyway, I actually in high school, I was a production potter. So I used to do, pottery. And then, did other things, and long story short, I actually went to Berkeley for my master's, and everybody there was doing abstract expressionist painting. And I was doing sculpture with wire and string that was all wrapped. So just always this kind of, obsessive thing. And then after that, I started doing more works on paper, and I used to do words and repetition. If you go to my website, you can see kind of the progression of what I did. And then I started getting into the circle, and I was working in cold wax. I don't know if you've ever worked with Dorland's wax medium. You can build up layers, and once it dries a little bit, you can scratch into it. So I used to scratch words in big circles, little tiny words. And then I got tired of that, and little by little, I got to, this, and so I was doing that. And actually, my newer work now, I'm actually doing really tall panels with a series of smaller spirals kind of intertwined. So that's, if you have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Is the paper folded? Is it just, so she has a piece? Sorry.
No, they're straight pieces of paper. The pieces of paper are like this, and I lay them down in flat, and I have a way of curling it as I color it. So I use paint in medium, either gloss or actually I've been using iridescent medium mixed with this acrylic paint. So I have a way of doing that. So that
It's like making, it's like
that was kind of an accident.
Like this, your pottery practice is coming into your drawing.
Yes, right. It actually is, yeah. I kind of miss that. I haven't done it in years and years, and I kind of miss, but it's a whole nother process thing. There's only so many, so many hours in a day, so many days in a week, and so many years we have.
So you were a production potter, and then when was the last time you touched clay and worked in that?
I was at Berkeley actually, and I was doing this kind of, something, in my committee chair actually came in, and she was this artist from Brooklyn, and she goes, yeah, I don't know. She goes, I don't know about this. It's kind of boring. You look bored. Why don't you try something else? I was like, fuck. So she was right. She was right. I had kind of played out what I was doing, and I had a studio on campus, and I moved off campus to this big warehouse I had down off campus over in Berkeley, down by 4th Street, which is now, the building's no longer there, it's all gone, and started doing something entirely different. And then she was my champion, because nobody there really understood, what I was doing. Chris Brown was there, and Joan Brown, and Joan was great actually, but they just didn't really know, so most of them just left me alone. Because the other sculptors were doing welding, when I was doing this sticks and wrap stuff. I still have a few of those left, actually. But it's always been that. I'm obsessive. I like things a certain way, and,
It's fascinating. That's what makes us so beautiful.
Like I said, my kid didn't touch my stuff at all. They know. They don't touch any of mine. I have things at home because I used to work at home, and they know, don't touch my pencils, don't touch my stuff. My kid's not into art anyway. She's getting a PhD in clinical psychology.
Serious? I wonder why.
Oh, my own private, therapist.
That's why we have children, so they take care of us.
Yeah. It's great, yeah. So, any questions?
What's your website?
It's my name, wendyrobushi.com. There's no other Robushis, actually. It's an Ellis Isles name. The name was Robushi. It was like Czech or Polish, and they gave them. Now, a lot of people think I'm Japanese, or I have Japanese descent. No, it's Polish. And I'm Italian, my mother's Italian. Anyway.
Thank you.